I don't want to be pitched on the first interaction. Nobody does. You can have success, but you're gonna have a lot more if you do it correctly. So most people don't have anything set up, and then the people that do, they might have one automation, and they don't understand that the customer journey is not just step 1 and 2. There's multiple steps in between. So we help them set up kind of goal-driven automations to keep people moving forward.
Welcome to the How to Scale Commercial Real Estate Show. Whether you are an active or passive investor, we'll teach you how to scale your real estate investing business into something big.
Jason Wright is a speaker, author, entrepreneur, consultant, and digital marketing architect with a passion for helping real estate investors and entrepreneurs with their sales funnels. Jason, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Always good to have a fellow Hoosier here on the podcast. I guess I'm a former fellow Hoosier since I don't live in the Hoosier state anymore. But either way, I digress. Jason, there are 3 questions I ask every guest who comes on the show in 90 seconds or less. Can you tell me, where did you start? Where are you now? And how did you get there?
Where did I start? Corporate America, like so many people. Quit corporate America twice, wanted control over my time, unlimited earnings like most people. So that's what got me down this entrepreneurial path. Where I think the second question is, where am I at now?
Where'd you start? Where are you now? And how'd you get there?
Yeah, where I'm at now is, I started with digital marketing broadly. We've niched down and pivoted quite a few times in the last 7 years. Now we work specifically with active campaigns, specifically for capital raisers. So I've got that unique entrepreneurial angle, self-made guy with that. And what I do is niche enough that I'm not aware of any competition. So it's pretty cool. Where am I going? Wherever the hell we want to go, up, up, up. So we're gas pedal down till we die type of company. We love what we do. I set goals and I reach them and go, you know what? I feel the same as I did before the goal. So let's just keep going. So I'm in love with the journey, my friend. So we're just going to keep going up.
Man, I love it. That's really cool. How did you niche into this? I mean, it's like you said, there's not anybody else that's really doing what you're doing right now. How did you discover there was a need? And then how did you start onboarding customers and filling that need?
Yep. So I have to give you a little bit of the backstory to make it make sense.
Yep.
So when I quit corporate America, my wife is not the risk-taking type, right? She's like, paycheck benefits. It's so safe. It's so safe. It's not safe at all. It's one income stream. It's absolutely crazy to be an employee, to be honest. I can't do it. So anyway, I convinced her I was going to start this magazine company. Like 2 months into it, I was out of money, made no money. I was out of money and made no money. So it's a bad scenario. But I became obsessed with showing people that I could do this because people were rooting for my failure and all this kind of thing. So when I started to finally get traction, it was with digital marketing on Upwork, right? I learned digital marketing for myself to try to push my blog, Intentionally Inspirational, out there to the world, to encourage people to quit their jobs, even though I hadn't done so successfully yet myself. So I would go on Upwork, I'd find little blogging jobs and make like a little money to appease my wife. Hey, we're kind of breaking even this month, but not really with this business. So then I started to see this trend that like, man, in active campaign and Google ads and all these different things, there's always people looking for help. And I'd say, hey, client, I don't know how to do this, but I'll figure it out and make sure that you're like 5-star satisfied if you hire me. People would be like, okay. So I look at it as on-the-job training. I was using Upwork. I never really thought there was a full-time business in there. Eventually, we started focusing on the sales funnel. It's a little bit better money, a little bit more specific. And then about 5 years ago, I said, let's just do sales funnel only. So we got to a point, there's enough business to go full-time, quit corporate for good. And I was like, I don't know how I really scale this, right? There's so many people doing this. So I said, I'm going to go active campaign specific on the back end of the funnel. So that in itself helped us grow and scale, but there's still a wide range of people using it. Well, I hate e-com. So I was like, okay, we're down to high ticket service providers and things like that. And then I worked with a few capital raisers, didn't really know what it was, but I was like, man, these people have nothing, like no kind of systems or anything. And then I met my buddy, Hunter Thompson from Raise Masters, and worked with him and did some work with some of his funnels in the back end, and spoke at his event in LA this January. And we were talking after our panel, and he said, hey man, you're really good at what you do, really good at what you do. You've got a great ability to connect with people. He said, here's something to think about. He said, if you want to be the active campaign guy in this industry. There's nobody else doing it. There's nobody else doing it like you would do it. Something to consider. I'm saying, so I said, so you're saying just work with capital raisers? He's like, I think there's enough there for you to be happy with it. I'm like, let me talk to my team and my wife. And so we jumped in and we had to figure some things out. We had to kind of an offer and we got feedback and we tweaked the offer. And it's worked out really well. Best year of my life ever. We just put us into a completely different stratosphere. And the cool thing is, by working with people like this, I've become an LP myself. We've actually got a capital raising company that no one knows about yet. So we're going to try to do a co-GP deal or two next year. And it's like, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I with the knowledge and the network I have? And some of my neighbors and friends are kind of interested in what I'm up to and stuff. So it's been a really interesting road. It was never the plan. The whole point of this story is none of it was the plan, but I'm smart enough to go, I'm not married to my ideas. If something makes sense and it's in line with what we do and what we want to do, let's go. So,
man, I love it. That is great. Tell me this: what are some of the key mistakes that you see capital raisers making today, either with their sales funnel, or what are some things that you're helping people even build out that sales funnel? I mean, probably not even asking a clear question.
I got you. Okay. I know exactly what you're asking. So one of the biggest things I see is people have no plan, no back end at all. So when I say back end, I'm talking about what happens after somebody joins your email list.
Right.
What most people do is they give them the PDF, if that's what they came in for, and they throw them on a main list. They'll send them newsletters and they'll let them know when there's deals. And there's nothing else there. It's a big mistake, right? It's like if you and I became neighbors and I came over and said, hey, man, I'm Jason. Great to meet you. And I didn't see you or talk to you again for 6 months. Right. Then I come over one day, dude, you got to hear about this deal. It's only going to cost you 50 grand. You're going to be like, bro, I don't know who you are. Get out of here. Right. Get off my porch. I'm in Memphis. I will throw a rack of ribs at you, bro. You know, but you see it every week in your email. You know, people subscribe me to their lists and they pitch me deals. And I'm like, bro, I don't know you. You're dead on arrival to me because I didn't opt in and I don't know who your company is. So I'm not going to invest. I don't even want to hear about it. So the mistake that people make is they don't understand that all digital marketing is, or marketing in general, is building relationships. Relationships start with a getting to know you. I don't want to be pitched on the first interaction. Nobody does. You can have success, but you're going to have a lot more if you do it correctly. So most people don't have anything set up. And then the people that do, they might have one automation and they don't understand that the customer journey is not just step 1 and 2. There's multiple steps in between. So we help them set up kind of goal-driven automations to keep people moving forward. And that new potential investor journey, we help them with capital raises. A lot of people with a capital raise will send out an email or two, kind of hope and pray and see what happens. And hope is not a good marketing strategy. It can be effective, but it's not the best idea. So we help with that type of stuff. We use automation to provide air cover for what you're already doing. So
yeah, and that's a strategic, or not even strategic, but there's a lot of thought that goes into how you build those funnels. And then even at what point do you reach out, and then and it gets really, really detailed and confusing. Like the further you get into it, it's like, oh my gosh, like that is not, you know, for guys like me, it's not my strong suit. Like you ask me to, hey, build out a 10 email template, you know, somebody signs up for our list and I think they get 10 emails from me over the course of like 2 or 3 weeks. Like, hey, here's how I started, tells all the backstory, blah, 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 you know, and this all goes through Active Campaign. But I had to bring somebody on like you in order to help me get that done. So it's like, I mean, I spent a year and a half trying to figure it out. And every time I'd look at it, I'd start to sweat. And I'm like, oh gosh, I suck at this. I suck at this. I hate it. And I'm still trying to get it done. And so it just, you know, you're serving, obviously, you know this. So I'm not, it sound like I'm pitching your services, which I kind of in its own way am, because there's something, it's just not what our forte is. Right. And thinking through those, what other than like email drip campaigns, what are some really cutting edge, maybe things that are on, you know, that you guys are working on, maybe that haven't been released yet, or that have recently been released that are kind of different, that you guys are finding as good strategies?
Yeah. So a piece of low hanging fruit that's relevant, a lot of people aren't taking advantage of, is two-way text. Okay. And even ringless voicemail. Now I must tell you, listen carefully, Do not use two-way text and ringless voicemail if you have not spoken to the person before.
Right.
Doing it cold is creepy and it's not going to go well. Now, if you've had a Zoom call with somebody and they're thinking about investing, using two-way text as part of your marketing automation is a phenomenal idea. When we added two-way text to our own follow-up, it added multiple six figures a year in revenue just from two-way text.
Wow.
Like, absolutely stupid, because think about it. When you're texting friends or family, it's very conversational. It's weird as it sounds. It's a safe place. People are like more willing to talk and open up through text than they are email, right? Yeah, and text covers up the screen of the phone. You can't really ignore text like you can email. You know how many email accounts I have? I have like 6, and it's easy to not look at them, and everybody does, you know? So two-way text is really, really strong. Even for capital raises, two-way text is really strong, and you can automate the sending of all of that, right? So that's a piece of low-hanging fruit. Other stuff we're working on is we are getting into a little bit of a new a la carte service offering for our clients that relies heavily on AI, right? So it's like, how do we get more engagement and higher open rates with all of your marketing automation? So we're using the stuff that we use in my own business and offering it to clients now, and it's pretty crazy cool stuff, but it'll start figuring out who's most likely to close in your pipelines and all this crazy stuff using algorithms. But it's really, really neat stuff. And nobody's using pipelines and goal-driven automations like we are. So I know that nobody's using this AI stuff. So it gets pretty nerdy and cool, but it's pretty much set it and forget it type stuff.
That's really interesting. And we'll get into the weeds here for a quick second. Does ActiveCampaign have a native text integration?
So their negative text integration is absolute garbage. The reason why is it's one way. So you can send text from automations, but if people respond, you'll never know. You can't talk to them, which makes no sense.
Right.
So we use Sales Message. It is an outside platform. It does integrate beautifully with ActiveCampaign. It will capture all your conversations in ActiveCampaign automatically and save the notes, which is great. If anybody ever gets a text from me, it's from an automation. If they respond, hits my app, and I talk to them like that. But it's a wonderful tool, and we use it and promote it pretty heavily. So
got it. Now, ActiveCampaign is one piece of, I think, an overall marketing strategy. You know, having a great website, having all that stuff that then ties back into the ActiveCampaign forms. And as you probably can tell, I do use ActiveCampaign in my business. And there's other, competitor products out there, but we're talking about ActiveCampaign today. Talking about website building, website funnels, how all those build back in. I mean, is that something else you guys farm out to other people? Because I know you focus on ActiveCampaign. Is that part of the business you guys handle? Walk me through that.
Yeah, we don't handle it. Well, we can talk about it from a strategy standpoint. We used to do it for clients, but when I went through that process of what do I hate doing for clients, that's the stuff we cut out, because design is subjective, right? I might say, Sam, check out this website, bro. You might be like, start over. I hate it. Right. It's not a good scalable model. So we don't do traffic or design, but so we can talk about it. We can point you in the direction. We don't really farm it out per se, but we just kind of deflect. One thing that I think a lot of capital raisers could benefit from with their overall strategy is narrowing down their niche, right? If I say to somebody, who do you target in your business? If they say anybody with money, I'm like, oh my God, come on, man, please. If you were in tech, maybe you target tech people. If you're in doubt who to target a former version of yourself. Right? What corporate path did you come from? What entrepreneurial path? So that is something to think about, because when you get narrow, then your landing pages and your website messaging gets more narrow. Then their traffic gets more narrow. How do I go find more of these specific people? Where do I get what we're doing in front of other audiences that haven't heard about me yet? That's where marketing really gets fun. When the back end stuff converts, when the landing pages convert, then it's just traffic forever. Where do I get in front of more people that are going to be attracted to what we're doing and how we roll? And don't be scared to create polarity, right? And what I mean is, some people are going to be turned off. That's not me. And other people are going to be like, they're speaking to me.
Right.
You don't want that. You don't want to, I want to please everybody. It's not a good strategy.
That's hard to do. I'll be honest. Like, I think about that. I'm going, gosh, I'm kind of thinking through, of course, my own funnels and my own kind of presentations. And it's like, I wonder if I'm serving vanilla ice cream when you're saying I should be saying, hey, it's like, I can't think of any ice cream flavors, but the stuff that's like, okay, you love it or you hate it. So,
Yep.
and you're saying that creating that
Chocolate
polarity.
peanut butter cup.
Do what now?
Chocolate peanut butter cup.
Right. Yeah. I don't want chocolate peanut butter cup. That sounds nasty.
Yeah.
But either way, that's what you want, I think, out of people coming to your site. It's like, no, this isn't for me, or it is for me. And I like what you said there. I think it's really defining who your investor avatar
Yep.
is,
Yep.
and figuring out a way to do that. I've never heard it said. Think of a former version of yourself. I mean, that's brilliant, because I rewind 5-7 years. And I'm like, gosh, I didn't know anything compared to what I know now.
Yep.
So go back and try to find me and serve to me what makes sense at that point in time. This is really cool. I just love what you're doing and how you are really niched down in your own business.
Yeah.
And again, there's not many people, if any at all, that are doing what you're doing inside of the capital raising space. What else have I missed? What questions should I be asking? Things that maybe typical clients ask? Anything on that front that I should have asked you about?
Yeah. So one thing I want to say about the niche thing that's important is this is just my experience. Everything I ever say, it's from experience. It's not repeating what other marketers are saying. It's all straight shooter here. Trying to figure out that niche can be extremely difficult. So here's what I would tell you. Here's what I did. You can kind of niche down by targeting a former version of yourself if it makes sense, and then pay attention, listen to the people that are investing with you. You might start to say, you know what? I'm getting a lot of people like this and they're great. And here's why. You may have an opportunity to niche down right in your face. You may not be paying attention. So Be willing to pivot, pay attention to the people you're serving, and listen to what they're saying. That's where you can get the tips to micro niche down. You're not going to figure it out on your own. That's my experience with it. I'll tell you this. I talk to people every single week, capital raisers. I probably talked to, 250, 300 this year so far. And anybody who, it doesn't even matter if they hire me, but anybody who talks about this stuff, there's always this degree of shame. It's really fascinating. They're like, I'm so embarrassed. Can I tell you a secret? I'm like, I already know what you're going to say. Go ahead and say it. They're like, I should be so much further along, or I haven't started yet. I've been meaning to. Everybody's in that place, right? Even if they do have some stuff, there's always this, I know I should be, there's like this degree of shame around it, but it's completely normal. So I give you permission to not be as far ahead with your marketing as you think you should be.
Right.
Make you feel better. Other things you should be asking. One thing I'll say is, like, in capital raising, just like with lead magnets, right? Trying to build your list. If you want to do something different than the rest of the industry, get away from the PDF, right? I challenge you to step away from the ebook or the one pager. Create a lead magnet that's powered by video and say, how do I give my target audience the information they want in a really palatable way? People love video, because video not only teaches, but they can watch you and go, I think this person believes what they're saying. So that makes me trust them a little bit. Right. If you're on video and you're sketchy and you're seeming scared, it might not be a good choice for you, but video can shorten that know, like, and trust curve a whole bunch for you.
Huh. That's really interesting. In what way because other than running a daily podcast, which this goes on YouTube, obviously every day, but other than this, like, I don't really I use video a lot in communication directly with investors, but not as part of an automated campaign.
Yep.
So how would you suggest someone use video? Is it in follow-up email sequences? Is it in, part of the, again, if you sign up for our investor list and you get 10 emails from me, are there videos inside of those? How do you see that effectively being used?
Any way you want to. So sometimes I'll send out newsletters to my list, video only. It's just literally the headline will say no text, only video, and they'll open it and there's an implanted video. You could do that to announce a new deal. Hey, here's a new deal. To give you a 2-minute overview. If you want to sign up for the webinar, you can do so below or whatever. You can drop links and text through video as well. Video testimonials are powerful. Get some of your best investors, maybe get a testimonial. Use that in your marketing follow. Video testimonial is about the most powerful thing you can use in marketing, especially if the people doing them are unscripted. You say, hey, just spend 2 minutes in your own words. Don't write it out, just roll with it, because people pick up on that. So, and the nice thing about video, from my standpoint, I make about $2,000 a year through Loom and Zoom, which is a ton. I use it for SOPs in my business, to train my team, answer client questions, marketing, etc. It's so fast and easy, so much faster than writing. I'm a one take guy. Unless something goes horribly wrong, one take and move on. Let's keep going. So
That's great advice, man. Yeah, and that's something that I use video like you a lot. A lot. I was responding back to somebody's, a document the other day, and I'm like, look, I'm just going to record this and just talk you through it because it can take me an hour to type this all up in 5 minutes, then you a video.
Yep.
So no, I love the use of video, but incorporating that into our marketing campaigns is, probably not something that, I've personally used a lot of. So I love the tips there. Jason, this has been awesome. I love the product you're developing. I look forward to hearing more about it and staying in touch with you and just kind of seeing where this goes for you and your team, because you are certainly in a blue ocean, and there's loads of people like me out there that need what it is that you're putting together. So very, very cool. If our listeners want to get in touch with you and learn more about you, what is the best way to do that?
Yep, you can go to our front porch, which is intentionallyinspirational.com, and find out what we're doing and connect there if you want to.
That's awesome. Intentionally inspirational. We'll make sure we include those there in the show notes. Jason, thank you again for coming on the show today. Certainly appreciate it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.